so weak, trying to keep it together.
Hey girl, I never ever thought we'd meet. I never ever thought I'd see. Then I saw your smile. Oh, we can go across the oceans and see the world tonight. Oh, say hello to the mountains and watch the new sunrise. But no matter what the country, the city, the street, by land or by sea, together forever is my favorite place to be.
So in the last year, I think it's safe to say that I've been on airplanes more than I have been in the past 20 years. To say that some things just don't go as planned would be an understatement. If you'd have told me 6 months ago that we were going to spend a majority of the next 6 months in Canada, I'd have called you flat out crazy. But in reality, we've enjoyed some of the most special times with friends and family through the holidays that it really was a life-changing experience for all of us, including Richie. We were even there to celebrate my parents' 60th wedding anniversary on December 31st.
Welcome, dear friends. We're here today to celebrate the 60th anniversary of Fran and Andy Livingston and Jack and Mary Moore. And it's my privilege to offer a special blessing to my parents and to their dear friends, Fran and Andy, on this special day for them, and to have my family here, Rick and Maddie and Richie. Today we celebrate with gratitude, marking their 60 years together, Fran and Andy and Jack and Mary. May their love continue to grow in faith, refreshed daily by your spirit, so they remain a blessing to their families for many generations to come. And may their enduring love give hope to younger couples that true, lasting love is possible because it is rooted in you, the God who is love. In Jesus' name we pray and give thanks. God bless you both, and may you flourish and enjoy many years. Amen. Amen. Let us give a toast to the happy couples. Cheers to Fran and Andy.
Lots of presents, eh, buddy?
This is the best Christmas I've never seen.
Best Christmas you ever seen? Cool.
I'll save some of our adventures in Canada for a future episode, because believe me, there was a lot. But for now, it's time for us to get back to Colombia. When we started this refit of Sophisticated Lady, a 30-year-old sailboat, we had no idea how deep we were actually going to go. Like a standard project list, the projects never seem to really end. It just shifts from one project into a myriad of others that spin off as a result. But like they say, life is full of challenges. That's what keeps us sharp and on our toes, right? So today I'm bringing you back with me to Cartagena, Colombia, where Sophisticated Lady still resides on the hard, and it's my job to go and start wrapping things up and getting her ready to go back in the water. That's still several weeks away, but there's lots of projects to share with you guys to show you what it's like as we refit a 30-year-old sailboat in the South American country of Colombia. Back on board. It was a nice sunny morning, but now lots of rain, which they predicted. Boy, I wish we could catch some of that. That's a lot of rain. That's very nice though, it makes for a nice cool breeze here underneath the shade. We are back in Cartagena, so I had to come to oversee the start of the next round of projects because we're getting into some more serious stuff that I need to make sure is done the way that I want it done and communicated in person as we go. So as you can see, a lot of work has been done. The hull has been drying out, everything has been glassed and epoxied, all the holes that were wet, all the osmosis has been cut out, and you can see they've already filled over, and this is all nice smooth epoxy on top already. So lots of preparation has been done there. And they've done some good work sanding down and bringing everything back to original gel coat. So that looks good. You can see more repairs here. Lots of shiny epoxy on top, sealing everything in now that it's all dry and cured. So we got all the moisture out. And they've still got some sanding to do here. You can see marked by the pencil there, just saying they've still got some work to do there, sanding it down to get down to base gel coat. But so far it's looking good, but yeah, you're gonna see we get into some different projects here now. And that will all be starting probably tomorrow or the next day. So we've got a couple of holidays in the way here that people will be off work while I just start getting things cleaned up inside the boat and working with Martin to tidy up some of the projects that were underway inside the boat. So we're working on that kind of stuff right now. And then we get to the serious stuff this week. So today we got Martin here working on the plumbing. So we just installed new faucets everywhere. You can see we got one there. And you go in the aft cabin seam, we got one there. These ones, the fittings were good. But the ones in the galley have always been problematic because they're so far under, they're very hard to reach. So we just took out and removed this whole shelf that usually is here, so that Martin can get better access to the boat tubing that's back there. They've always been problematic. And we're going to take off the old French plastic fittings that always cause us the grief and switch them over to these. So we're going to extend the boat tubes with these PEX tubes and the PEX barb fittings, which is going to be just like what we did over here in the engine compartment a while ago. You can see that's the original boat tubes there for the water system. One's hot, one's cold. And we just changed over and extended to the PEX tubes because we used to have a bunch of threaded fittings and adapters here that always had problems and leaked. So we fixed that by putting in metal barb fittings and metal clamps so they'll never leak and never break. And that should make a big difference to our system in the galley. There's one of the old fittings that always gives us trouble. These plastic fittings, they last quite a while, but when they go out, they just rupture and crack and they blow a leak, and all of a sudden the boat floods with water and we lose all our water. Never good. So we're getting rid of all the plastic connections and replacing totally with metal. And sometimes it's good when we go digging because we just had another through haul trying to remove one of the fittings. Obviously had some corrosion or some moisture issues in there, but this is the drain through hull for this kitchen sink. and it just broke right off trying to remove it. So now we got to get the through hull fitting itself out also and replace everything. But better to discover that now than at sea. So that would not be a good thing. That's a big one. Perfecto. And of course the boat has been a bachelor pad for several months now with just guys on board, so of course there's no food. But a nice bottle of South American wine and takeout, and I am good to go. The biggest project inside the boat is the refinishing of all of our teak, and as you know, we have a lot. But the guys have done a great job refinishing the entire galley. That was the first area, and next they'll move on to the salon. One thing we've been testing that we've really found to be quite useful on the boat is this new varnish, and I wasn't sure what to expect from it. I've always used something different, but our place over at Laliza's had this stuff in stock and recommended we try it. They said they've gotten really great reviews and good luck with it of all the other stuff that they carry. It's called Sea-Jet. Comes in small cans, about 750 milliliters, but it's a single part polyurethane varnish that basically you put on one coat and then a second coat, and we get a very, very durable finish with a really nice shine. I mean, it has done a very, very nice job in the galley so far, I got to admit. You can see this is all just 2 coats. It's very strong, very smooth, and I think that we're going to see some good usage out of this. Supposedly it has a very good lifespan, so we should, I mean, the last stuff was 30 years old, but you can see that it has basically worn out and degraded over time, just through UV degradation and of course just time itself. It's 30 years old. So it's time to redo the boat, and we had to pick what we were going to use. We used this stuff as an experiment, so we're going to go back to this morning because they gave us 4 cans to test, and we want to do the rest of the boat. So the carpenter's given us a quote to do everything else, and as long as that's within reason, we've estimated that we can probably do the whole boat with about 8 to 10 more cans. So we're going to go back to Lisa's this morning to pick that up and a couple other supplies before we get back to the next projects. Wow, apparently the dinghy was full. I unplugged this plug like 4 minutes ago. I thought it would have a bit of rainwater in it, but it's got a lot. So apparently, I'd say we got an issue with our bilge pump inside. We have a battery in there, but the bilge pump's obviously not working. That is a lot of water, mucho agua. Still coming full strength. A minute and a half later, still running. This is not a good sign at all. Holy crap, that's a lot of water. I can't believe how much extra weight there must have been sitting in the dinghy. Yeah, you might remember in a previous episode, we actually found this place here in Cartagena that is like a full stock retail outlet of everything needed for marine stuff, and that's right here, Laliza's Marine Center. And this is the one place I found in pretty much anywhere between Panama, Colombia, San Andres, everywhere. Nobody has these dedicated centers. This is the only one that I found. And it has everything. Now granted, stuff in here is more expensive than normal, but hey, when you need something, they have it, almost always. Now, first thing we need to find, I believe the paints and everything were over here. That's the one for exterior, right? This one's best for interior?
Yeah, too.
Okay, so we're gonna use this. We're gonna do the whole interior of the boat with that one. But we need something for the outside as well. So just 2 cans of 2-part polyurethane. I think Sergio said you had some?
Yeah.
Now I think back here is one of the more important things that I need actually. They have lots of stuff back here hiding as well. Yeah, you can see all the VHF radios and electronics, compasses, hydraulics even, wow, okay. But yes, this is where we get into sailboat fittings, all the stainless steel and through hull fittings. And look at this, that is something I've never seen anywhere. See if we can get in here or not, but this is what we are doing to the lady because we have a lot of dead through hulls on the boat that need to be changed. These guys have everything, look at this solid brass. Perfect. Even stainless steel, because I'm going to switch some of the ones in the heads and stuff to stainless steel. They don't need to be bronze. Stainless steel is considerably less expensive, but just as tolerant of immersion in salt water as long as it's isolated from any other metals. So as long as we don't combine brass or bronze or anything like that, it'll be fine. Yeah, in 20 years on a boat, I can tell you I've gone through a lot of pumps. And one thing that's aggravating as hell is having 10 different kinds of pumps on the boat. So I've replaced everything with Seaflow now. It's all brand new. And they're inexpensive enough that actually I keep a couple of spares on board. So I got the same pumps used in the toilets, like the bathrooms and the showers and the water system in the boat. We're doing everything and it's exactly the same. So now I just keep the same pumps in reserve. And when one blows, I can just drop in a new one without worries. Something I've not been able to do in a long time, trust me, because the parts for the stuff on a 30-year-old French boat are not easy to find. Not easy. Something else we're gonna need is definitely some zincs. Got to figure out the exact size of my prop shaft because our zincs have been gone for a while now. Access hatches, ports. They just keep a lot of stuff here. And lots of cables. So yeah, good heavy duty power cables. Different sizes for everything. And as you can see, they got a new supply over here, so that's a lot of new stuff to look through. Oh yeah, something else I wanted to get is a life jacket for little Richie. Yeah, there's all their fenders and stuff. Oh, I see life jackets down there. Yeah, look at all these electric bus connectors, everything. This is really nice. Oh, and there's the drain tubes. Okay, they got them right here. Perfect. Yeah, now back to the life jackets. What do we got for little Richie? Anything? And something for a 4-year-old and a wraparound with hopefully a pickup strap on the bottom. There it is. Look at that. That looks perfect. And look at the fish. Richie will love that. Okay, so definitely that's going with us. That's going to be great. Richie's going to love that for sure. And Teak oils. Corrosion inhibitor. Definitely can use a can of that. Can never have enough of this stuff. This stuff is awesome. Yeah, I think you guys remember the trouble we've been having with nav lights, and Lalizas now has a new supply of nav lights. So I think it's time that we give the lady a nice treat and replace those old nav lights. What do we got here? Wonder how these connect. Wire through the back, looks like, possible. So, but yeah, I think we'll put on a couple of new nav lights and spruce up the bow a bit also, brighten them up. Just put her back in shape. So that's what this whole thing's about. Alright, so just unpacking all of our stuff, and this is all the through-hull stuff we just received here. So these are all the new valves to fill all the old holes in the boat, replacing all the old through-hulls. So these are the actual through-hull fittings here, all 3/16 stainless polished. These are the valves for all the outlets. So these are all 3/16 as well. The two new ones for the water maker. These ones are bronze. The ones for the engine is bronze, along with all the fittings and strainers. So this is the through hull for those ones that strains out any seaweed or anything like that. And then we got all the rest of the valves, small ones in stainless steel, so they're all matched sets in full stainless along with the barbed fittings. So we got that, a couple of new fittings for sink drains, and a couple of new pumps for the toilets for the holding tanks. So those are the discharge pumps replaced. So it looks like everything showed up, but just going through everything now to make sure. At the same time, the guys immediately got back to refinishing the wood, starting with the next section that was going to take them over and around my nav station. Now that we had all the new varnish that we needed, it was exciting for us just to know that the lady was going to undergo a complete refinish inside. I just finished putting all the sets together, make sure we got everything that we need. You can see we've got 7 of the 3/4 inch sets. Got 1 extra nipple here, but I also noticed that all the nipples that they sent, the barb fittings, are 3/4 down to half. And I'm going to need 3/4 to 3/4, so I'll have to call them about that and see if they replace those with the proper size, because those aren't not the right size for the tubes on the boat. The 2 1-inch sets are perfect, so we got 1-inch sets right there. The 1.5-inch sets, I've got 8, 9 complete sets. There's 1 set missing here, that's the through hull, but I believe I ordered that valve as a spare just in case, because we had a lot of these and I figured something might be broken or missing on one of them. The bronze set is fine. This is meant to go in the through hole for the engine, but just realized that this one is too big for the engine. So I either have to get a new through hole fitting for the engine that is a little bit larger, or just get a smaller valve. I'll see which one is going to be the best option there. And I got one 1-inch set here, but I don't have a through hole for that also. So I got to check that in the order and see if that's something I missed. So far we're looking pretty good. Not too much wrong here. We should be able to start working on these this week. Just finishing up the day by installing my shower finally. So I think this should work now. Perfecto. And running water. I can actually have a shower today. Yay! Just here at Martin's house. He's in getting changed. It is way up on top of a big building, 4th floor, overlooking the port. Big view. There's the view from Martin's place. Oh, Martin changing. Wow. It's a long way up. And makes me dizzy to look down. ¿Tú listo?
No.
Ciao, mamá. Wow. Whoa. Loco. Bueno. While doing final preparations on the hull, getting ready for our copper coat job, one of the guys spotted a little spot on the rudder that he said was dripping once in a while. So they decided it was necessary to open the rudder and see what kind of condition it was in. Needless to say, now we've got another big project on our hands that we weren't expecting. But we'll have more of that in the next episode. So as always, thanks for watching, have a great day, and we'll see you out there. Ciao for now.
¿Eso es poliuretano, no?
Por el tubo